All right, welcome to Aspect Sports. I'm the Commish,
I'm G.
and we're going to get into some NFL news here. We're going to just break down kind of what's going on around the NFL. We're going to break down a little bit more Super Bowl stuff just as we get into the Super Bowl today. And then make sure to check out our episode on the Cleveland Browns coming up next. That's going to continue our breakdown of all 32 teams starting in draft order. And so let's get right into it, man. Let's get into these NFL news. The big news of the day is Deebo Samuel. He didn't so much request a trade, but got permission to seek a trade. And I mean, it's a really interesting situation because, do you want to leave a good quarterback? Do you want to leave a good offensive line? I mean, apparently there's something that he just doesn't like to be a part of. Maybe they're not using him the right way. I mean, what do you really think is going to be? What's the reason behind that, man? It's crazy.
Man, I don't know. I think you're in a pretty good organization. I'm kind of getting like Tyreek Hill vibes here. You go on a good team, but you want to go play somewhere else for no reason. I don't know. Sounds kind of selfish to me. I mean, I don't know. I like Deebo though. I do like him, but I don't understand why he wants to leave the Niners. I mean, it's a pretty good organization. It's not like they had one bad year, but they should bounce back and be, at least prevalent. I think, next year. So I'm kind of surprised by that, but I don't know. Maybe he's got somewhere he wants to go, and that's, he wants to go play for somebody else, and that's where he wants to go. So he decided to ask for a trade. Yeah, Carolina, don't go there. That's a dumpster fire.
Dumpster fire, man. Bryce Young is looking real good. I mean, I don't know why he would want to leave though. But let me get into that first. And then I'll tell you why he needs to go to the Panthers. Okay,
he's not going to the Panthers.
I'm telling you why he needs to. I don't know if he's going to, but
I mean, I'm just saying he's not going to.
But anyway, I don't know why he'd leave either. Maybe he doesn't like being not the number one paid, not the number one guy. Maybe he wants to be the number one. You know what I mean? Like,
selfish is all I can think of. I mean, I like Deebo. I don't want to say that, but
I haven't heard anything like that though. Like that's the thing is like if I had heard anything about him being anything better, like worse than like a great teammate, and like he gets fired up sometimes, but that's what you like. Every team needs passion. Yeah, absolutely, and he's a dog, dude. I mean, yards after the catch, like he bowls people over like a running back. But I don't know. Maybe he just doesn't like the coaching. Maybe there's some kind of friction there. Who knows? But yeah, I'd love to see him on the Panthers because he went to South Carolina. Xavier Leggett is like a brother to him. He said so on his own podcast, and I think that would be a great pairing. I do like what the Panthers have at receiver, so I wouldn't really be mad if they didn't do it. Adam Thielen said he's coming back, so that's probably unlikely. I can't imagine we'd have Adam Thielen, Jalen Coker, Xavier Leggett, and Deebo Samuel. That would just be a little bit too many mouths to feed. Our offense isn't up to that point. If he went to somewhere like, you guys, that'd be insane. He's not going to do that. It's never going to happen. But I'm just saying, like, from he might. Holy shit standpoint. I mean, geez, dude, could you imagine? I mean, what a way to lose Ben Johnson and then replace him with Deebo, dude, and just add this thing into it.
Man, but Amon-Ra, that's like, he's the same type of receiver as Amon-Ra, so
yeah,
it's kind of pointless to have him
two guys like
there.
that. Yeah, absolutely. No,
I
don't know where he'd go. I mean, he's kind of like, you have to be smart to use him. I mean,
what about maybe like Baltimore or Buffalo?
Yeah, I mean
they could use a good receiver like that.
Yeah, I could see Baltimore. That'd be a really interesting combination because he can run a little bit. Yeah, that's. But the biggest thing is what do you think the Niners are going to want for him? Like,
that's a good question.
Because how old is Deebo? Let's see here.
Shoot,
he's 29. So as for a receiver, that's not really that old.
No, but you're hitting your prime. So you got, depending on how healthy you stay. I mean, he gets hurt a lot. So I'm gonna say he's kind of maybe like at the end of his prime.
Yeah, he's towards the end of it. He's still, I think, in the right offense can really be a weapon. I don't know if he's a number one guy anymore. I think that he's still a great receiver. I mean, like I said, I would love to have him on the Panthers, but we'll see. I think Baltimore is a really interesting fit.
He's not nobody's trading a first round pick for him.
No. I think that because you got to trade for his contract too. And let's see, what is his contract at?
I
Pull
think
up
he's the
Sport Track real
third.
quick.
He's I'd say he's like a third rounder, like trade a third rounder maybe for him. I don't know.
Deebo Samuel. Let's see here. So he signed a 3-year contract for $71,000. Here, give me just a sec while I pull that up. Deebo, yeah. So a 3-year, $71 million contract. So he'll be a free agent in after this next year. I think, yeah. And then he has a void year in his age 30 year in 2026. So yeah, he has one more year under contract at $15 million for this year. His cap hit is $15 million, which is a decent amount. That's pretty high. I don't know what that is in the league.
Wait, a 5th round draft pick?
I don't know. I think he's worth more than that. I think that
I don't know, man.
I don't know. I think that he's worth at least. I'd give you a 4th I might even give you a 3rd if you cover some of his contract. At the same time, it kind of depends. It kind of depends on what you have and like what the teams have. We're getting close to the draft, and like there's teams that have multiple like later round picks. Like the Panthers have like 3 5th round picks. I give you 2 5th rounders and like a 6th or something like that. And if there's like some kind of random ass player that you want back, sure. Like let's do it. Sign me up all day for that. If you want a 3rd, even that's kind of where it's like, I don't know. Like I think the Ravens would do that. I think the Ravens for a 3rd round pick would be like, yeah, bring Deebo over here.
I do like what you're saying though. If they cover part of the contract, I'm more willing to give a 3rd round pick then.
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, it's going to be an interesting.
Pay him his guaranteed money.
Yeah,
and that way, I ain't worried about. I don't owe him anything.
Yeah.
Especially
but I mean, I'm sure he's going to want an extension. You think he's going to want an extension if he gets traded, though? Maybe that's what it is. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe the Niners said that they're not going to pay him, and he's like, "All right, well, like I'm out of here then." They just paid IU. They extended McCaffrey before he got hurt. Like they're going to have to, honestly, the Niners need a little bit more work than we realize. Like Trent Williams ain't going to play forever.
Yeah, but I mean, you can, you're not going to replace Trent Williams, but you can get somebody to help out there. I mean, that's not. They still got Brock Purdy. They still have.
That's what I'm saying though. They're gonna spend money though on to get a left tackle when one becomes available once Trent Williams goes. They're gonna either move up in the draft to do one, or they're gonna spend a bunch of money and get one. So it's like maybe they don't have the money to re-sign Deebo Samuel to a deal that he wants.
And it's a possibility, but I mean, he shouldn't be asking for so much.
Yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting situation, man. I'm very curious to see. There's team. I mean, the Colts are another team that comes to mind. Jacksonville is always kind of looking for someone.
I think Buffalo.
I think Buffalo's a good shot. The Commanders.
Yeah,
it's everybody wants to go there right now, and he's from the East Coast. He's from Carolina.
Actually, he would probably do pretty good there, to be honest. I mean, they got
Scary Terry. They got some. They got some other guys there. Diami Brown really came on in the playoffs. I mean, Zach Ertz, as old as he is, he's still a good tight end.
Solid.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, they need to replace him. I wouldn't be surprised if they go that way in the draft. We'll get to that in their episode and everything. We'll look into that a little bit more. But it's Deebo can help a lot of teams out, and there's gonna be a lot of teams that could would add him for a 4th round or a 3rd round, even depending on how desperate they are. So we'll see. Very curious to see what happens there. Let's see here. News that I see is Adam Schefter says that the signs point to Aaron Rodgers leaving the Jets amid rumors.
Surprise.
Yeah, no surprise. I mean,
Aaron Glenn,
he was a dumpster fire there.
Aaron Glenn don't put up with none of that. He ain't going to let it. No distractions. Aaron Glenn is not putting up with that. I don't know if you've seen some of Aaron Glenn's interviews, but he made it pretty clear. Like, he's not, quit asking me about it. This ain't gonna be the Aaron Rodgers show. We're gonna figure it out, and either not gonna be our quarterback, or he's gonna be our quarterback, and that's that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I don't think he played good. He had a good squad around him. If you ask me, maybe the O-line was a little weak, but like he should have done a whole lot better. And the expectations were so much higher. And I just don't think he can go anywhere else anyway. I just don't see a team that's going to be like, we'll take him. Nah, he gets more coaches fired than he does anything else. So,
because he just wants to bring in his guys.
So fuck Aaron Rodgers. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, he just he just wants to bring in his own guys, and then they don't do good, and then he's just the ultimate scapegoat. They're the ultimate scapegoat before he is eventually let go by the team, or something else crazy go, or he gets traded or goes somewhere. You know what I mean? Like he's just a crybaby. He gets what he wants, and that's what it is. So yeah, go cry, go retire. He should retire. I mean, you're hurt the whole time. Like, you're barely moving out there, dude. Like, just we wouldn't be mad at you, dude. It's okay. You've had a great career. Like, what more? You're not going to win a Super Bowl, dude. I'm sorry. Like, you're not that player anymore. You could play on the best team in the league. I don't care. You can play on the best team in the league, and I don't think it would matter, because let's put you on. I mean, shit, you couldn't do this on the Chiefs. You couldn't do this on the Eagles. Couldn't, and those teams are great.
Yeah.
He couldn't do that on the Lions. He couldn't do that on any of these teams. Like the Bears have a great offense. Their line sucks, but he couldn't do it on that offense. He couldn't do it on the best offensive line. It doesn't matter. Like, he's injured. He's hurt the whole season. Just retire, dude. It's okay. No one's mad.
Just walk away. Give it up.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man. Yeah. Go.
Yep.
You can go do whatever you do in the dark and get high. Okay. You don't have to.
Yeah. I mean,
you don't have to stay here.
I didn't watch the Netflix thing, but I don't know, man.
I didn't watch it either, but I just heard about it. But I'm still saying, I mean, I know for a fact he's over there. He's getting something up here.
Yeah, absolutely. In other quarterback news, the Raiders, apparently, per Adam Schefter, are a team to watch for Sam Darnold. Pretty interesting there, and not too surprising. Maybe they're not as enamored. Maybe they don't think they're going to get in position to get Shadur or Cam Ward. Maybe they don't want to have to worry about that, and they just say, hey, let's go get Sam. We'll pay him a good amount of money. I'm sure we're fine on cap space. Let's see. What are the Raiders at cap space wise? Yeah, dude. Second in the league. They have $92 million in cap space. Ooh. They can absolutely go pay Cam.
They do whatever the hell they want.
Or Sam Darnold. Yeah, absolutely. Like, go plug that hole. Then you go into the draft. You get Sam Darnold, pair him with Brock Bowers. Go get Tatoria McMillan. Go get another weapon for that offense. We know what can happen when you surround him with offense. If anything, honestly, I think the best move, if you do that in the draft, is to draft the best offensive lineman you can find in that draft. Because they're like the 6th pick.
Yeah, I think they are the 6th pick.
Let's see. Pulling it up right now. I'm pretty sure though. Yeah, 6th pick. I mean, go get the best offensive lineman there is. Surround Sam Darnold with a great cast, and he can be really good. He saw ghosts there at the end in the playoffs, and that's unfortunate. But everything else we saw was great. Sam Darnold is still really young, and he could really help out. I mean, I think that'd be a great move by the Raiders. If they really want to do something, you can build that team up really quick if you do that. Or, go add a defensive piece. I mean, the options at the top of the draft at 6, I mean, let me just pull up some. Go get Will Johnson out of Michigan. Lock that shit down. I mean, there's so many things that they could do with that pick if they just went and got Sam Darnold.
I think people forget too. I mean, Sam Darnold's only 27. He's not old at all. Like, he's in his prime.
Exactly.
I mean, literally. And look what he's doing in his prime. I mean, he had a hell of a year. I mean,
I've always been a big Sam Darnold. I think that he hasn't gotten a fair shot. I mean, he played for the Panthers, and he looked great for a couple of weeks. And then, I mean, we were not a great offense, and so the wheels fell off. Does he need a little bit more help than some other quarterbacks? Sure, but that's not a bad thing. We need to stop acting like all these quarterbacks don't need help. The list of quarterbacks that don't need help is like this big. It's like one guy. It's like Patrick Mahomes can do it with a fucking, with nobody. I mean, and I say nobody, with Travis Kelce, Hall of Fame tight end, and Xavier Worthy's a first round pick. But relatively speaking, from a proven standpoint, besides Travis Kelce, they have nothing there. So, like, there's not very many guys that can do that without something. So let's surround Sam Darnold, and we've seen what he can do. He just did it with the Vikings. I mean, he had a phenomenal season. I would love to see that move for the Raiders.
They were one of the top 5 teams.
Yeah, I would love to see that move.
Like, all season, too. It wasn't just, like, for a little bit. It was all season long. They were
and that's big coming from a Lions fan, Like, you can respect the team. Yeah. And Sam Darnold played great. I mean, did he have his moments? Sure. But, you pair him with a good coach, and Pete Carroll. Come on now. Pete Carroll, Sam Darnold. That sounds like a good pairing to me, man. Because Sam Darnold's actually pretty mobile too, and I know that like Russell Wilson wasn't super mobile, but he knew how to incorporate that into an offense. And again, Sam Darnold's 27; he can still use his legs. When he was with the Panthers in the first 4 weeks of the season, he led the NFL in rushing touchdowns, not by quarterbacks. He led the entire NFL in running touchdowns.
Do the Vikings have a franchise tag on him?
No, at this point, he's a full-fledged free agent.
Okay.
He only signed a 1-year deal because he was supposed to be a bridge.
I just don't feel like they're going to let him go. If I'm the Vikings, I'm not. I thought he had an option. You sure you don't have an option?
Let's see.
Because I was thinking he had an option or something.
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure he's just a free agent. Yeah, free agent.
Okay.
He signed a 1-year, $10 million deal. Free agent. Right. It's a void year. So I guess he is technically under contract, but like he can void it. I don't know. It doesn't really. Or wait, no. He's just a free agent. My bad. My apologies. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, he's free to go and do whatever he wants. I mean, yeah, they can franchise tag him, and maybe he stays. Why would you want to leave Justin Jefferson? I don't blame him.
I mean, I'm keeping him if I'm a Viking. Then you can figure out what then that gives JJ McCarthy another year.
To come back from that injury completely too. Even if you come back, like you're not going to be 1,000%. You want him to go out there and be 100% and be able to be like completely confident in his health.
Yeah, you just give him that 1 year. Give him a 1-year deal. Yeah, you're going to pay him a ton of money, but it's only a year. And then
I don't think he signs a 1 year.
You can't sign him for a 5-year deal. Why would you do that?
And that's the biggest thing I think about him leaving Minnesota is I think that they give him at max like a 2-year deal, and I think that they like fully guarantee, like they like front load the fuck out of that contract and they just give him all the money, and then they just cut him in the second year as long as JJ McCarthy continues to look as decent as he has and is recovered from his injuries completely. They can just cut him, and I don't think he wants to be in that kind of scenario. I think he's going to be looking for somewhere where he can be for a long time. I
don't disagree, but I don't think that. He's not signing a 2-year deal with them. It's not happening. If he stays with the Vikings, he's signing a 1-year deal because he's not going to go get paid and then sit behind JJ McCarthy if he becomes a starter. Like that's not what he wants. He wants to be a starter. That says a lot about Sam Darnold too. I mean, he wants to play. It ain't like he wants to bag. He wants to play. Yeah. And so he's going to go wherever he can play. So, I mean, I guess if saying that, I wouldn't be surprised if he does leave.
I think Vegas would be the perfect spot for him. They need a quarterback. They have the ability to surround him with good pieces. It's already going to be a place that people want to go with Tom Brady being in the behind the scenes there, with Pete Carroll being the head coach. There's a lot of good things looking up in that organization. Brock Bowers is a dog. Matt Crosby's a dog. I mean, I haven't gotten to the breakdown on that team yet, but we'll go into them a lot more and we'll see really like what pieces stick out. But like just off the top of our head, we know that there's pieces there. There's not a lot there, but there's some stuff there. It's not completely bare. And then with the 6th pick, you can add an impact player, even if it's not Will Johnson. There's players that are going to be there that are going to be, or if someone isn't there necessarily that you want, trade back, get some more pieces.
Yeah,
like it's not a bad thing, especially exactly. Like let's see. So they have 2/3. Okay, so that's not bad. 1 first, 1 second, 2/3, pretty solid. And the other 3rd round pick. So they have the 4th pick in the 3rd round and the 9th pick from the Jets in the 3rd round. So that's pretty good. They're set up pretty good. But I mean, again, still though, you could trade back in the 1st round, trade back a little bit if someone that is at 6. You don't really like him that much, and you have Sam Darnold, so your quarterback position is solid. We'll see. I'm very curious to see what happens. This offseason has a lot of really interesting points in it that we're going to go over in like all these different episodes and everything. And we'll go over them in different like things as they happen. But I mean, on top of the ones we've already talked about with Debo and Rodgers and Sam Darnold, Myles Garrett requested a trade. Cooper Kupp is on the trade block. I mean, this offseason it's going to be just insane. And I mean, unfortunately, there's not going to be anything. It's a weird situation because I understand it. Like I do get it. He's just injury prone at this point. His injury history is not very good.
So what?
I agree, but
you want to keep Matthew Stafford?
Yeah, but I think that they're just like, we got Puka. We can go and trade him for like they could probably get like a 3rd or Nah, probably not. I think if we're talking Debo for a third, I'd rather have Debo for a third than Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, because Cooper Kupp's at the end of
Well,
his career.
Not really, dude. He's young, dude.
Yeah, but he's hurt all the time, like all the time.
He's
Cooper
31.
Kupp,
I guess he is kind of near the end
yeah.
of his career.
That is the end for a receiver, dude.
Yeah, I mean, not
Yeah,
really,
I mean, come
because he
on,
could be
dude.
a slot guy. Adam Thielen's like what, 38?
Okay. Yeah, but that's like 1 in a million because there's not many.
He's
That's 30
34,
plus.
Thielen. And that, you know, that he contemplated retirement this year. He just said he was coming back. So, you know, he is kind of near the end of his career.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a few years left, but he's not, you know, he's the same age as Tim Patrick.
Yeah.
Tim Patrick had a better year than him.
Yeah, you know, and I wouldn't be mad. Like, I don't think we need him on the Panthers. He's kind of the same mold as Adam Thielen. So, like, that's not a good person, because I know we need to upgrade our offense. I don't think. Go ahead.
If you could get him for the right price, I feel like he'd be good.
He's the same player as Adam Thielen, and we already have Adam, and Bryce has great chemistry with Adam.
Is he going to be there next year? Adam Thielen ain't going to retire?
He already said. Yeah, he already said he's coming back. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
that's good then. Okay,
absolutely. Yeah, if he didn't say he was coming back and he was going to leave or something like that, I'd absolutely want to bring in Cooper Kupp. That'd be. I think that would be like the same kind of thing, and it would be like replacing 1 with 1. And I mean, Myles Garrett requesting a trade is not. I don't know. I don't think it's as crazy because it's like the Browns, man. Like this, it's so tough because they have a good coach. Like Stefanski is a good head coach, and they have good pieces there. You know, we're going to get into that on our next episode, and we're going to really dive into it. But like, there is really good pieces there. Like, yeah, the Deshaun Watson thing is just absolutely ridiculous and stupid, and they're just screwed because of that. Like, I mean, it's interesting that he requests a trade. Like, I'm curious to see where he goes, man. There's a lot of places that could use him. He said that he wanted to go to Cleveland, or not to Cleveland, to Philadelphia. I've heard like people talking about that. I've heard people talking about the Commanders again. The Commanders, you know, everybody wants to go there and play there. Detroit, that'd be crazy to pair him with a dude.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, dude. If I don't think it's gonna happen, in my personal opinion, but it is time for Mr. Brad Holmes to make a move because we've been neglecting the defensive end spot for 4 years now. And yeah, man, I mean, if you could get him for, I mean, we would lose somebody eventually because of if we brought him in. Like, you're gonna lose either a JMO or a Branch probably. That's what you would lose. I mean,
him with
you don't lose them for 2 more years.
Next 5 years together, dude, or 6 years together.
You don't lose them for 2 more years. So
yeah,
I'm just saying, if you make that happen, I mean, you're talking, dude.
That's a nasty defense.
Myles Garrett, Aleem McNeil, and DJ Reader.
That's sack records. That's sack records right there.
Yeah, we're going to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, but I mean, what are you willing to give up for that though? Because I've heard rumblings of at least 2 first rounders.
It's going to take more than that, I think. I think you're looking at 2 first rounders and maybe a player. I wouldn't give up a player. That's not happening. But you know,
I mean, he's 29, defensive player of the year. Yeah, absolutely.
So you
guys would probably have to give out a bunch.
That's what I'm saying. You're gonna have to give up 1, 2, and 3.
But I mean, it really depends on like where he wants to go to, and if the Browns want to do something right by him, you know, do they want to send him to a place he wants to go, or do they want to be like, nah, fuck you, we're gonna send you to the Panthers for 2 first round picks because fuck you. I mean, I'd be cool with that. Like, I wouldn't be complaining at all. That would instantly revamp our defense. I mean, he would be insane.
He came out and said, well, he said he came out. He wants to win a championship. That's what he wants. He's not going to a team that doesn't have a chance.
No, absolutely not. And I don't blame him. I mean, you know, 29 is not too old for a D end, but it's getting towards the end. You know, it's you can see the end of your career in probably the next 6 years minimum.
He ain't slowed down a bit. I'm just hoping my boys.
He hasn't slowed down. I mean, it's 6 years though. That puts him at 35. That's pretty old for a D end. He could still do it as like a designated pass rusher for a couple more years. Because I mean, Von Miller is like 500.
Yeah. I'm just hoping my boy Zadarius Smith reaches out to him and be like, yo, man, hey, come on, you need to come over here to the Lions.
I mean, Von Miller's I mean, I'm right on point right there. Von Miller's 35.
Okay.
and he's at the end of his career. I don't know what his contract looks like or how long he's going to play for, but he's near the end. So yeah, Miles Garrett, you got another 6 years of like good quality production, because I think that he's on a similar level. I don't know. Von Miller was a monster in his heyday, so I don't know if I want to compare them. But
Miles, you can compare them to Miles Garrett.
Yeah, I don't really disagree. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying though. So another 6 years of good production, as long as there's no major injuries, because he hasn't had any like big injuries.
Yeah, I mean, you got a good solid. I think you got a good solid 4 years out of him.
Yeah.
Before you see a decline.
Absolutely, minimum 4 years, and then those last 2 years, you can just kind of rotate him in as more of a pass rushing specialist, or yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you get him to teach that one guy up. You know what I mean? That's what you do.
100%.
Smart, man.
Yeah,
but yeah,
so I mean, just like we were saying, so many different like things that can go crazy in this off season, man. It's going to be great to like see exactly like what goes on and who gets traded where, who ends up where. We got the draft too. I always love the draft. It's like Christmas for me. It's like, oh man, who's my team getting? Who's the new toy I get to play with?
Yeah, exactly.
We also got Kellen Moore is likely to accept the Saints head coaching job. Poor guy gets to go to a, I believe, like negative $70 million cap space. Let's see here. Negative $54 million this year. Yeah, negative $54 million over the cap space. So, yeah, he's got that. He's got the Derek Carr debacle to deal with. You got crazy contracts all over the place. They just extended Alvin Kamara, which is great. He's a great player. I'm a Panther fan. I can appreciate a good player. He's always destroyed us, and he is a good running back. He deserves that extension. But outside of that, I mean, what you got? Chris Olave, right? And he had crazy concussions. I mean, there's a chance that he gets one more like that. Like he got 2 concussions this last year.
Ain't good.
And outside of Olave, like what they got, what's the receiver they got? Shaheed, or I can't remember. I can't keep them all straight. A couple of them have that same kind of name.
Yeah, you talking about?
Let's see here real quick. Let me see if I can pull it up in the lineup. I think he got hurt. So yeah, Rashid Shaheed.
Yeah.
And Marquise Valdes-Scantling, but he's just a journeyman receiver at this point. I mean, Olave grayed out great. So, like there's some pieces there. I don't think Derek Carr is a bad quarterback. They have a good center. Their line's not completely, it's pretty bad. I mean, they got the first round draft pick, Fuaga, at left tackle, and he'll be good. He ranked 49th this year, but he'll get there. And I mean, like I said, their center is good. He had a 94.2 ranking or grade on PFF. Their left guard was a 37. Their right guard was a 25. Their right tackle, Ryan Ramczyk, didn't play like hardly at all this season. Oh yeah, he didn't play. So he's been good for him. Decent for
Kevin Austin Jr. too. He's young and he's up and coming too. So he's wide receiver.
Okay. I mean, Juwan Johnson was a good tight end too. So I mean, there's pieces there. But that defense, man. Like, I mean, you got Cam there, and he's been there for so long, and he's getting up there too. Though he didn't have great production this year, and outside of him, there really wasn't much. I mean, they had Pete Werner. He played pretty good at linebacker, good for 28th in the league on PFF.
Yeah.
They had, but yeah, there's pieces there. So I guess it's not going to be the worst thing in the world for Kellen Moore. But like with that cap space, that's just brutal. And then their draft pick is 9th right after us. So, not terrible. They can add an impact player there at 9. We'll see which way they go and who's kind of available at that spot. It's interesting. I mean, no one wanted that job. Mike McCarthy pulled out and said he's just going to take the year off instead of being their head coach. I mean, who does that? There's a couple of guys that pulled out of the running for that head coaching job. And then Kellen Moore's like, yeah, I want to be a head coach. Let's do it. So I wish him all the worst luck because, they're in the division with us. So I hope that they lose every single game under him and they're just terrible. Well, maybe not, because I don't want them to get the first round, the
Damn.
first pick, because then they're going to get Arch Manning, and he'll return to Louisiana, because Archie Manning played for the Saints for years and is a legend in New Orleans, and Peyton and Eli went to school in New Orleans, so that would just be too poetic. So hopefully they're not that bad. I want to be just a little bit better than that. Get like the 10th pick or something like that, and just kind of sit in this little turmoil for a little bit. You can lose to us twice a year, though. You can just do that. Go ahead. Fine with
y'all
that.
Y'all got a long ways to go, right?
We're not too bad. We're a pretty solid team if you really look at the pieces. We'll get into the Panthers breakdown later on too, and you'll see. Yeah, we're better than you think, man. I mean, I can go on and on and on about that.
I mean, you guys are okay. You're not. Yeah.
We'll be there. We'll be all right.
You're gonna need 2 more years.
Yeah, I'm not saying we're playoffs or anything next year, man.
Like, you guys are like, the Tennessee Titans right now without but you have a quarterback.
Yeah. Well, no, we're better off than the Titans. We have weapons on offense, too. The Titans don't have much. They have Calvin Ridley and Tony Pollard. I mean, because we have Chuba. We have Xavier Liga. We have Jalen Coker. We just drafted Jatavian Sanders. I mean, the list goes on. I can go on about that. Again, I don't want to go Jonathan. Yeah, Jonathan. I mean, he's probably going to miss all next year. I would, if I were the Panthers, they'd be safe. I've heard that they're probably going to draft another running back. Cam Scatabo is an interesting pick. I would love to see. Wouldn't be mad at that. But there's pieces there. We're not totally out of it.
Yeah.
And let's see here. I think that's really it. I'm not really seeing too much more going on here.
Crazy. Nothing worth talking
about.
I
mean, we got the Super Bowl coming up. Again, you can check out our whole episode on the Super Bowl where we break down both teams and kind of talk about the good pieces, the bad pieces, different kind of storylines there.
Yeah, who you got, Brian?
I mean, I still got the Chiefs, man. We talked about it in that episode too. Like the Chiefs, until proven wrong.
The
what?
Yeah, I just had to check to see if maybe something swayed or changed your mind or any.
No, man. I mean, the Eagles are a great team. I think it's going to be a great game. We got 2 teams that are going up against each other that match up really well. It's just gonna be a great game. I can't wait. I'm excited. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch these 2 teams really try and outdo each other. And you're gonna what?
I'm going to eat too much food. I can tell you that right now.
I know. We don't even know what we're going to do for food yet. Like, we haven't even decided on it. Yeah, no, we just, I don't know, because we're just staying at home. We're not going nowhere. We're not doing nothing.
Yeah, we got Philly cheesesteak sliders. Ooh. We got some Cooper Sharp that we got from Pennsylvania. And then we got, and then we got a bunch of, like, charcuterie boards, buffalo chicken dip, a jalapeno popper dip, meatballs, pizzas. A
little bit of everything, dang.
Yeah, there's some more in there. That's good. It's gonna be yeah. Well, I mean, my team's not in it, so I better enjoy it and eat some food.
Yeah. You excited for the halftime show?
Root for the NFC to lose. So.
Yep.
I mean, I'm gonna root for Saquon Barkley. I'm gonna be cheering for him, but then anybody else scores or anything like that.
Yeah.
Repeat.
Yeah, let's see it. I want to see it. Pat Riley granted them permission to use 3P on merch too, because Pat Riley owns the trademark to the words 3P on merchandise.
Yeah, I don't feel like he should own that. I feel like Lil Wayne should, but okay.
I mean, he owns that because of his 3Ps with the Lakers.
Yeah.
Back in the day. So,
whatever.
Yeah. But yeah, so, let's see it. Let's see it. Go Chiefs. I know it's not the most popular thing to hear because everyone doesn't want to see the things. We talked about it in the Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes is now the villain. No one wants to see him win any more Super Bowls because he just keeps winning them, and we never want to see people win, blah, blah, blah. It's all dumb. We went over that too. Yeah. We talked about why Patrick Mahomes is great and what he needs to do to really enter that GOAT status. So again, go check that out and come back in and tune in for our next episode with the Cleveland Browns, where we break down the entire team. And we'll see you soon. Thanks, guys.
Yep. Y'all have a good one.